Okay, make sure you remain muted. I want to welcome you once again in our lesson 3 of week 3. I think you are fine. Without wasting time, I want to share the screen and start off with the corrections of the work I shared yesterday. I hope you can see my screen there. Hope you can see my screen. Let's start from there. Let's start from there. The question number 1 was of yesterday. Remember, as we are going through this work, it's like still we are having a preview of what we covered. So yesterday we were looking at groups of birds. We looked at patching birds and the scratching birds. They gave activity as homework. And number 1 was, how are sunbirds adapted for their feeding? How are sunbirds adapted for their feeding? How are sunbirds adapted for their feeding? Yes, can I have answers in that chat? Others can use the chat. Others just raise their hand. I will select you and you give us the answer. Number 1 was, how are sunbirds adapted for their feeding? Yes, I'm waiting for the answers. Raise hands, please, and I select you to give us the answer. How are sunbirds adapted to their feeding, to the way they feed? Yes. Someone to give us the answer. How are sunbirds adapted for their mode of feeding? Yes, Chloe.
They have a long, slender beak to suck nectar from the base of a flower.
Have a long, slender beak to suck nectar from the base of the flower. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Chloe. Number 2, write down any 3 examples of scratching birds. I told you when you're giving the answer, you put the number. Thank you, Nawal. I mean, Nalwa. I've seen the answers. Number 2. Another person? Can I get answers for number what? Number 2. Examples of scratching birds. Those birds which scratch the soil to get their food. I've seen from Nalwa. I'm waiting to see the rest. Okay. From Melissa, you're saying hens. Okay. Chloe, I've seen yours. Thank you. Continue throwing in answers. Jaden, okay, I've seen you. Okay, those are the answers we have. We had chicken, we have turkey, we have guinea fowl. Those ones are the examples of scratching birds. Number 3. Number 3. Apart from sunbird, give any other nectar sucking bird. Nalwa, thank you. I've seen your answer. Adeta, I've seen your answer. Thank you. Number 3. We are on number 3 now. Nalwa, I've seen your answer. Apart from sunbird, give one other nectar sucking bird. Adeta, I've seen all your 3 answers. Thank you. We are on number 3. But remember, whenever you write the answer, you have to put which number you're writing for. Isaac, your answer is right. I don't know for which number, but I think it is okay. Can we continue? Melissa, thank you. The answer is right. I've seen it. Okay. I've seen from Melissa. Abuti, thank you. So number 3, the answer was hummingbirds. Hummingbirds. H-U, not burning. Jaden, you are saying burning. I'm saying hummingbirds. Number 4, give 2 groups of patching birds. Give 2 groups of patching birds. Nalwa, thank you. The answer is there. I've seen your 2 answers for number 4. Okay. We are looking at groups of patching birds. We said these groups are given depending on what they feed on. Please use the chat. Use the chat. Jaden, that answer is wrong. Chloe, thank you. The answer is right. Okay. Melissa, thank you. The answer is right. Nakajiri, Cynthia, I've seen your two answers are right. Aguti, thank you. The answers are right. Okay. So answers for number 4, we have seed-eating birds. We have insect-eating birds, nectar-sucking birds, and fruit-eating birds. Okay, we are going to number 5. Number 5, how are sunbirds useful to crop farmers? How are sunbirds useful to crop farmers? Number 5. Nalwa, as always, the first. Thank you, Nalwa. The answer is right. Can I have answers from all of you? And we start off our lesson straight. Today I'll be very brief. I don't want us to waste time. Use the chat. Because you use the chat. I've only seen the answer from Nara. I'm waiting to hear from Isaiah. Nakajiri, I've seen your answer. And Nakajiri, the answer is wrong. Cynthia, the answer is not right. They are saying to crop farmers. Jaden, the answer is right. Aguti, the answer is not right. They are saying to crop farmers. Adet, thank you. The answer is right. Chloe, I'm not seeing your answer. Okay, Chloe, I've seen your answer. Thank you, Chloe. Because you have not yet seen your answer. Kalamaji, thank you. The answer I've seen. Nyamorin, I've not seen anything from you. Patel, I've not seen the answer. Agwang Daniela, I'm waiting for you. Come on board. Okay, so the answer for number 5 was they help because they said sunbirds. They pollinate. They pollinate. Because the spelling of the word pollinate is not that. They pollinate farmers' crops. They pollinate farmers' crops. They pollinate farmers' crops. They pollinate farmers' crops. They pollinate. Because I hope you've seen the answer I've sent in your chat. They pollinate farmers' crops. Okay, we shall go straight to the work for today's lesson. And we start off. Please stay muted, don't unmute. I don't know the reason as to why you are unmuting. Kalamaji, don't unmute. Just stay muted. Time for unmuting will come and you will do so. Yes, on your screen, there is the work we are going to have today. Thank you, Nala, for notifying me. We have week 3, day 3. Of course, we are in day 3. We've looked at the collections and of course, going through the previous lesson. In the new content today, or our new lesson today, we shall be in position to describe the following groups of birds. Remember, we are still looking at groups of birds. The swimming birds. Shall look at the wading birds and the swimming birds. Wading birds and the swimming birds. We shall look at examples in each of the different groups of birds and to describe their adaptation or their characteristics. Straightforward, I will start with wading birds or wading birds. They live around water, around shallow waters. They live around water. I mean shallow waters or shallow water environment where they get food to eat. So these birds, the wading birds, are those birds which live around water environment, around environments with water bodies like the rivers, like the lakes and oceans. Those birds which live or stay around areas with the water bodies are the ones we are calling wading birds. However, it was a mistake here. It is not DD. It is single D. W-A-D-I-N-G. So these wading birds, being they live or they stay near water sources, they feed on animals like frogs, like snails, like fish, like worms, and so many other examples of animals, or so many other small animals. Okay. They won't ask you what are wading birds, but they can ask you to give the environment where wading birds can be found. They can be found near water sources. The environment is near water sources. Altogether, you can say near lakes or near rivers or near oceans. You can even say give any two, or what food do they feed on. You can say frogs, you can say snails, you can say small fish. Now let's look at the adaptations of wading birds. Adaptations of wading birds. Wading birds, they have long, long legs with the semi-webbed toes. That means they have a half-webbed toes. What do I mean by half-webbed toes? I'm going to draw for you something here on the screen. If you look at the screen, they have the long, thin legs, but their toes, of course, like that. Are you seeing? Now, the toes, instead of being fully webbed like that, that means they are fully webbed like that. Those ones are fully webbed toes. Those ones are for swimming birds. For these wading birds, they are not fully webbed. They are half webbed like that. Hope I'm very clear. I'm drawing it there on the screen. You get? So they are not fully webbed. They are half webbed. So that's number one. They have long legs with the half webbed feet or toes. So the legs are long. The legs are long and thin. They are long and thin. Why are the legs long and thin? They are long and thin in order to help them move in water. They move in order to help them move in water. Listen to me. I have two questions here. I have 2 points you're going to look at in the wading birds, and those are examinable areas. Number one, why do they have long, thin legs? They have long, thin legs, and the answer is to help them walk through shallow water. Those ones who are doing summary, please do the summary. Why do they have long, thin legs? They have long, thin legs in order to help them walk through shallow water. These birds like the crested crane, like the flamingos, like the storks, like the heron, they have long, thin legs. They have long, thin legs, and those long, thin legs help them to walk through shallow water at the water shores. Get me? If you look at birds like weaver birds, doves, those ones can't stand in shallow water. Why? They have very short legs. But for these wading birds, they have long, thin legs in order to walk through shallow water. That is point one to note. Point two that you should note here is why do they have half-webbed feet? Why do they have half-webbed feet? They have half-webbed feet in order to prevent them from sinking them from sinking in water. So they have half-webbed feet in order to prevent them from sinking in water. Those are two different points. I hope I'm very clear there. Hope that one is very okay. Okay, I hope I'm very clear there about the adaptations of wading birds. We've said they have semi or half. Semi means half. They have half-webbed feet in order to prevent them from sinking in water or in mud. Then they have long or thin legs in order to enable them walk through shallow water. Here we are saying some have long, sharp, pointed beaks used to catch fish and small animals from what? From underwater. From underwater. So their beaks are long. They are long and sharp pointed in order to pick small insect. I mean small fish and small animals from water. Examples of wading birds, we have flamingo, we have stork, we have heron, and we have crested crane. We have crested crane. That is what we call, those are what we call wading birds. Those are what we call wading birds. We have swimming birds. We have swimming birds now. When we talk about swimming birds, as you hear the word swimming birds comes from the word swimming. That means those birds do what? Swim. They swim. So swimming birds, they have webbed feet. Fully webbed feet. Their feet are fully webbed to help them to swim in water. So they'll ask you what enables swimming birds to do what? To swim in water. They have webs. Webs are the ones that help them to swim in water, or webbed feet enables them to swim in water. They have a spoon-shaped beak. Their beak is spoon-shaped. It has that sharp-pointed thing at the end. Why? To enable them separate food from mud or from muddy water. So as they are picking their food, it is difficult for birds like chicken to separate food from muddy water. We're meaning water, that water with together mixed with mud. But with these swimming birds, they are in position to do so because they have a spoon-shaped beaks. They have spoon-shaped what? Beaks. And another one, their skins have many oil glands. Their skins have many oil glands. Those are points that you have to note. Their skins have many oil glands. And what's the work of the oil glands? The work of the oil glands is to produce oil, which helps to protect them or protect their bodies against the effect of cold water. So these swimming birds, are able to be in cold water. They are able to be in cold water. Why? Because they have oil glands, which produces oil that keeps them warm. Altogether, so their skins are protected by the oil. Their skins are protected by the oil. And here we are saying they feed on small animals like frogs, small fish like worms, and some small water plants Now, before I leave this slide, I want us to make some summary about swimming birds. Hope you have your pens and your books. Let's start with the sample questions that can be asked. The sample questions that can be asked there. Number one, they can ask you, how are the following important to swimming birds? They say the webs. You get the webs. The webs are important that they help in swimming. They help them in swimming. So they help in swimming or pedaling water. You get me? The webs help these birds to swim. They help the birds to swim. Then we have the spoon-shaped beak. Spoon-shaped beak. How is the spoon-shaped beak important? The spoon-shaped beak helps to separate, helps them to separate food from muddy water, I'm giving you the key points that you are supposed to make when you are giving summary. Then lastly, they can ask you how the oil glands are important. How oil glands are important. We're talking about those features. The oil glands. What's the work of the oil glands? These oil glands help produce. You just say they produce oil that keeps them. Them are the swimming birds you're talking about. That keeps them warm, or that protects them from cold water, or that protects them from cold water, You get? So they have what we call oil glands that protect they produces oil to protect them from cold water. They have webs which are used for swimming. They have a spoon-shaped beak that helps to separate food from muddy water. Those are the basic characteristics of the swimming birds: webbed feet, spoon-shaped beak, and the oil glands. The three have their functions. When they ask you, give two adaptations of swimming birds to live in water, you can say they have webbed feet for swimming. They have spoon-shaped beak to separate food from muddy water. They have oil glands to produce oil that protects them from cold water. That one is. I hope you've taken it and you've made your summary there. The food they feed on, we've said small fish, worms, small water plants, and frogs. Okay. So I want to leave this slide and go to something else. Hope you are following me. Here we have examples of swimming birds, those birds which are good in swimming. We have ducks. We have pelicans. We have seagull. We have geese. All those ones are examples of swimming birds. They're examples of swimming birds. And I have some illustration here of a foot of a swimming bird with with the beak of a swimming bird. Look at this part here. Swimming birds have what we call a web. So when they ask you name part marked X, the answer is a web. It's called a web. Altogether, how is the web important? It helps a swimming bird to swim, helps these birds to swim in water. This one is the spoon-shaped beak. Though it is not complete, but at the end here, it is long, and the end here, it is spoon-shaped, that kind. You get me? It is of that kind. So it is spoon-shaped. This is what we're talking about, the spoon shape. And its work is to protect them from, to enable them separate food from water, from muddy water. Kalamaja, I don't know the reason as to why you are unmuting yourself. If you unmute again, I'll remove you from the lesson. Okay, so the swimming birds have the spoon-shaped beak that helps them to separate food from muddy water. They'll ask you examples of swimming birds. We've said ducks, we have said swans, we have said seagull, geese, and pelicans. Then they will say, still, they will tell you in the space provided, draw a diagram. In the space provided, draw a diagram of a foot of a swimming bird. Now, how do you draw it? It depends. You draw exactly that, but it depends on what you want to, the side you want it to face. I'm drawing a diagram of a foot, showing a foot of swimming bird. Hope you can see me. The best thing is to first draw these toes. They are supposed to be 3 in the middle. Remember, swimming birds don't have claws, so don't put the claws. Don't put the claws. Like that. Then the webs are supposed to be, remember their feet are supposed to be fully webbed, not half webbed. Half webbed are those of wading birds. These are swimming birds. They're supposed to be fully webbed. So you put the webs like that and like that. Are you getting me? That's the feet of a wading, or that's the foot of a wading, a swimming bird. It is very well drawn. As you can see, this is the web. I want all of you to practice how to draw it, because they will ask you in your exams. Okay, so let us make the climax. Number 1, how are swimming birds able to keep their body warm in cold water? By show of hands. How are swimming birds able to keep their body warm in cold water? By show of hands, can I see hands? How are swimming birds able to keep their body warm in cold water? Yes, Lokozi Gavin.
By using oil gland.
Okay, thank you. By using oil gland, that's what Lokozi said. Another person? Another person? Yes, Aguti.
The oil glands help them to keep warm.
Okay, thank you, Aguti. Another person, Isaac. Isaac, your answer is the best. I've seen the answer. Thank you, Isaac. Yes, Isaac, give us that answer, and you hear. Very good. They produce oil that keeps them warm. Yes, Chloe.
Oil glands produce oil which keeps them warm.
Very good. So the answer you are talking about, very good. Thank you, Chloe. The answers you give us, or the answers you give there should have the word oil. So the simple way, you can give it the way Isaac has given it. You said they produce, or their skin produces oil that keeps them warm. Their skin produces oil that keeps them warm. Number 2, why do wading birds have the following? Half-webbed feet. Half-webbed feet. Please make sure you indicate that your answer is for this number. Half-webbed feet. Half-webbed feet. Why do they have half-webbed feet? Why do they have half-webbed feet? Can I see the hands? If you're failing to type, can I see the hands? I know you're trying to type there, but Chloe, thank you to help them swim in water. Those are wading birds. They have half-webbed feet to keep them, to prevent. The answer is supposed. The answer is not to help them swim in water. Melissa, you're trying to get it. Thank you, Melissa. The answer for half-webbed feet in wading birds, okay, helps them to swim. That's one also. But the main answer is Aguti. Let's just hear from Aguti. What's the main answer, Aguti?
They help them walk in. Wait,
Aguti.
they help them walk in shallow water.
That's the half-webbed feet. The answer is for what? Okay. Let us hear from, I've seen the best answer from my daughter. Yes, Adet, give me the answer for half-webbed feet.
To prevent them from sinking in water.
You are the best. You are the best. Have you heard that word? To prevent them from sinking in water. Thank you very much. All of you, that is the answer. All together? That is the answer. Okay, to prevent them from sinking in water. Number, that for long, thin legs. Isaac, give us the answer for long, thin legs. Melissa, I've seen your answer. Thank you. Okay, for long, thin legs, help them to walk through shallow water. Number last is there. In the space below, draw a foot of a swimming bird. I always tell you to move with the writing materials, and the book. So can I see you drawing, and everyone is going to show me on the screen, on your camera. You draw very fast within 1 minute and show us on your camera. I'll select those best diagrams. Thank you, because you cannot send the diagram through the chat. So do that very fast. Make sure you have a pen or a pencil. It's better you draw using a pencil. Very fast. I'm going to stop screen sharing and I wait for your diagrams on the screen. Thank you very much for being active. Please draw and I see. Draw very fast and you show me. Everyone, make sure your screen your video is on. Draw very fast and show me. I want to see. We're just left with 2 minutes. Draw a foot of swimming bird. Agwang Daniela, thank you very much. Agwang Daniela, the answer is right. Thank you very much, Agwang Daniela. Thank you. In case it was the exam, you could get the answer. Thank you, Agwang Daniela. Agwang is now finished. It's done. I'm seeing Isaac drawing. Please don't draw cassava. If you're drawing, don't draw cassava. Draw a foot. Some people may draw roots. Don't draw roots. I want to see your skills. Don't draw roots. Draw and you show me. Agwang Daniela, I've seen yours. Thank you. Thank you, Agwang Daniela. You are free to leave the class because we have ended the lesson. Just waiting to draw. After drawing, you show on the screen.
Waiting to see pictures.
Oh, you're hitting. Okay, Adet Holy Peace. Adet Holy Peace, you have drawn roots. Adet Holy Peace, you have drawn roots. Repeat. Holy Peace, repeat. Nakajiri, extend on the screen and I see. Extend. Nakajiri, thank you. Nakajiri, it's very good. Thank you. Thank you, Nakajiri. Very good. I've seen. Jaden, I've seen. Thank you, Jaden. Very good. Thank you, Jaden. I've seen. Patel, Patel, yours is half webbed. We are drawing that of what? Of a swimming bird, which is supposed to be fully webbed. So Patel, make sure the web goes up to the end, this end. Thank you, Patel. Melissa, thank you. I've seen yours, the one who has put on the screen. Melissa, I've seen. Very good. Isaac, I've seen yours. Thank you, Isaac. Very good. Melissa, I've seen. Isaac, I've seen yours. I'm remaining to see Kalamaji's. I want to see for Aguti. Yamorin, I've not yet seen yours. Because extend to the screen and I see. Lukozi. Okay, very good, Lukozi. Yours is right. Thank you, Lukozi. But Patel, thank you. Patel, thank you. I've seen your diagram. Eh? Okay, keep trying, Patel. Eh? Keep trying. Keep trying. Chloe, I've not seen yours yet. Nalwa, show me your roots you are drawing. Agut, I'm not seeing your roots. Nalwa, let me see for
you see mine, teacher?
Let me see for Nalwa. I'm not seeing well. Okay. Hey, Nalwa. Thank you for trying.
Teacher.
Yes, Nyamorin.
Teacher, have you seen mine?
Let me see. Put on the screen.
Yes, it's there.
Okay, I've seen. Thank you. It's not bad. Thank you. Kalamaji, I've seen yours. Kalamaji, I've seen yours. Okay, it's very fine. Chloe, please show me those roots you are drawing. Aguti, I'm not seeing those roots. Okay, hey, Aguti. You have drawn soda bottles. Okay, I'm running with the. Oh, okay, Chloe, thank you for trying. Somehow, okay, thank you. All right, thank you everyone for being active. I want to wish you the best. I've ended here. Meet you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.
Bye, teacher.
Okay, bye.
Bye,
Bye. Keep trying to draw your roots.
Bye, teacher. Bye, teacher.
Bye.